And here we go with this one.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 71 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, legitimately, why is Eric still going as JoJo Siwa in the group chat?
Nobody's telling me not to go with JoJo Siwa, so I'm going to keep riding this as long as I can.
But his icon still says E.
Look, if you don't like it, get out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that's like the first of how many times we'll be saying it.
Nice work.
Yeah.
I rewrote the intro 3 times to this. I had a pretty standard intro, and then I had my second intro, which is like, oh, this is good. But then I was like, maybe it's like a little bit much. And then I wrote the third version of the intro, and that one I will never read aloud for like any reason. So I'm just going to do the second one, because after writing the third one, I feel like a lot better about the second one. So here's the second one. And Naveen, if this doesn't work, cut it out. We can like sub in the first one.
You're
gonna do both?
I'm gonna do the second one to start. We can make it
definitely gonna be racist.
Right.
Would you like me to do mine?
It's gonna be veiled racism. We just don't know how thinly veiled.
That's a good point. Should it really be coming from John?
What?
He's the only one of us that doesn't have a job.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? He just never gets hired again.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon?
I don't know. I think
It's been a week.
RNC might be looking for people like you.
It's been a week.
My name is John, and I would definitely vote for Obama a third time. Oh, did I fuck this up? I fucked this up. Naveen, cut all this out.
All right. Like I
Welcome
said,
to
would you like me to
episode
do mine?
71 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, why is Eric still going as JoJo Siwa in the group chat?
Heyo.
Is this supposed to be deja vu?
Still
Waka
wondering.
waka.
Hey,
I'm
get
John.
out.
I'm John, the blind Jimmy James of the group. Joining me tonight, Andy, who would definitely vote for Obama a third time.
You assume I voted for him the first 2 times.
Okay, you looked up like you're like come up with a lie.
Yeah, no, I did vote for him the first 2 times, and I would absolutely vote for him a third time, especially knowing what we know now.
Spirit of the podcast, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
T.S. motherfucking Naveen.
TS?
Yes.
All right. Hello.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Nice.
And Pod Daddy Eric. Yada, 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 the one Asian guy at the party.
With a name like Eric.
Hola.
Right. That was the second intro. That's the one I reconsidered. The third intro. Yeah, I'm John. I'm not going to do the third intro.
Yeah, I feel kind of offended, but I'll go with this one.
Go with this
All right.
one.
Can I do mine? I'll do mine. How about that? And I'll offend you guys even more.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Oh, you
good.
got one?
I got one.
Sweet.
I was working on it last week.
Wow,
I was like,
you were prepared
Dave.
for John to fail on this real hard.
this was a good one. I think
Yes, motherfucking Naveen, indeed.
yeah, I'll see how it works out. So
What can I say?
my version is welcome to episode 71 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask a question. Were Neil and Naveen hypnotized to do another podcast about movies with middle-aged men?
Wait, another one?
Yeah. You know, there's not a lot. I know there's not a lot of podcasts about movies.
Wait. Okay. And recording.
I didn't quite hear anything.
Didn't even hear that.
Yeah. I'm your host, Naveen, along with my Armitages, Johnny on the brain surgery, Andy with trapping the prey with his hips that don't lie, and Eric with the headlock grip.
Yes.
JoJo in the house.
All about the headlock grip there. And then joining us tonight, a guest host, my brother from another mother, from the same mother, sorry.
Do you
Neil.
know something I didn't know?
Yeah. Same mother. Sorry, I did that wrong. I read it wrong. I
Wow.
messed up too.
How long have you known each other?
Yeah.
That's literally the entire time.
Talk
And
about
then-
burying the lead.
yeah. So, my other brother from the
the
same
Jerry
mother is what
Springer
it's
is
supposed
this?
to be.
There must
Neil.
be another intro.
Yeah.
We have to find another intro. This is just
Right.
too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neil, whom Eric thinks is just me with a wig on. Exactly.
Yeah, I got a pretty sad wig on. You don't want any of this.
All of our content is currently up on the Rebels Without a Pod YouTube channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, this dumb goddamn show that we do every single week and is one of, for at least me, the true great joys of my life. We crossed 10,000 views collectively last weekend. So
Wow.
Yeah.
All those
That's-
poor, unfortunate listeners.
Think of the time that could. I mean, those people in that amount of time, they could have cured cancer or something.
yeah,
Well, you gotta admit they didn't all listen to like full
Yeah.
shows. It was
right,
like
right.
10
It's
minutes of
not
the
like
show
collective.
here or there.
Yeah.
Our engagement rate, even on our shorts, which are typically a minute long, is about 6.5 seconds.
Now that makes more sense.
But,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's
But it
just,
still counts as a view. Still
Yeah,
counts
they're like
as a view.
true short.
So basically, if you're listening to
amazingly, I do
something
want
else-
to point out that happened on the weekend where we released our episode 69. Nice.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
2.5 minutes of us saying nice. And also the weekend where we released Naveen's remix short of episode 69, which is 20 seconds long and just purely only us saying the word nice. So
Nice.
You didn't.
hold on.
You should listen to it. It's pretty good.
It's amazing. What was the total nice count on that episode? 22?
Did you get 20? Yeah, 22, 23, something like that.
22, 23. Yeah.
I didn't know we were counting.
We are 2 to 3 Supreme Court decisions away from all being in prison. So,
We could have also gone for like a solid 69 nices.
mhm.
It's like a
I
joke.
feel like we missed a trick on that one.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
I don't know. I at least got Andy with my 68 joke.
Mm-hmm.
Not
He
even
enjoyed
original.
that one
We
thoroughly.
stole that one, but it's a great joke.
It's a great joke. Yeah. Street trash. I'll give it the byline. Tonight we are concluding our top the queue movie cycle. Simple concept: we watch and discuss 4 films that have been sitting on our streaming queues since forever. We're ending on a big one tonight, and right for the start of the spooky month, Jordan Peele's Get Out. Since there's a lot to talk about tonight, and Andy also informed me earlier that he's planning on falling back into the Sunken Place promptly at 9:30 p.m. Let's kind of get right into it. So, Get Out, a 2017 psychological horror film written and directed by Jordan Peele. Synopsis in brief: Get Out. Here, this was a great movie.
Yeah.
Mid.
That one didn't.
Wait,
That
what?
What?
Was that what it was?
Great.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Okay. Who has
Sing.
an outline? Naveen in the clutch.
All right.
Clutch,
Check 'em out,
I don't know
guys.
if I have a good one there. It's,
Oh,
just Get Out was a good one. Just you could have ended it there.
yeah.
Or, synopsis in brief. Get out! Don't go in that room! What are you talking about? Get out! Like they do in the movies.
Synopsis in brief:
Behind
Get Out,
the door!
and don't listen to
You
this.
know,
podcast.
guys, like they do in the movies.
Neil is bringing just an uncomfortable amount of like older brother energy at this point. He hasn't really said anything yet. He's just kind of sitting and he's looking at the 4 of us in kind of a way like, what are they doing?
I was so confused. I was like, movie synopsis, Get Out, psychological thriller. I was like,
Wait. Did
Our
you tell him
synopsis
that
in
we
brief-
watched the movie? Did he know he had to watch the movie before
Yeah.
this? Or do you think we were going to watch the movie now?
no, I knew
Oh,
we were going
shit.
to watch the movie. I just didn't know that was the full synopsis.
Synopsis in brief is just
Yeah,
something
it's a quick
funny
one.
and
It was
stupid
so
about it.
brief.
Let me come up with a random stupid one. Synopsis in brief. Are you going to offer me some fucking tea or what?
Yeah.
It's funny when it shouldn't be.
I think Neil's more like thinking, like, what did I sign up for?
I know.
I thought this was gonna be a legit podcast.
Right?
He drinks tea at 7:51
Neil's
p.m.
just like, I'm getting paid for this at least at the end, right? No.
I saw an excellent movie. I will give you that.
You know
All
what?
right.
I'll give you a free Tubi account. How about that?
Excellent. I'll take it.
Hmm.
I got
There
my
you
Crackle account for you.
Oh, nice.
I think you
Peele's
being-
directorial debut, which we can kind of get into, is completely insane. But this film stars Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Bradley Whitford, Catherine Keener, Stephen Root, and Lakeith Stanfield. The film was a major commercial success. Check out these numbers: grossing $255 million worldwide on a $4.5 million budget.
Whoa.
I think, like,
Nice.
percentage-wise, like a Lost in Translation kind of comes close to that. But I think that was only like, it was like 5 million, and then maybe 120, 130, like kind of worldwide. So this is this might be technically like the most profitable movie that we like talked about like on the show so far. It also holds near universal acclaim with an approval rating of 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Among many accolades, it won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay that year, with additional nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. So let's just kind of get into the questions right away. Naveen, this was your pick, so let me kind of let me sort of put out like a double question here. Naveen, why were you interested in kind of doing this one for the cycle? And Neil, what was it about this movie that kind of made you interested? Because we've been talking for like a little bit about you coming on the show. What was it about this movie for you that kind of made you interested in coming on specifically for the show?
Do you want me to start?
How about Naveen? Let's talk about like the pick like a little bit, then we'll go to Neil.
Sure. Well, I mean, just like our theme was being top of the queue, just a movie that's been in our queue that we've been wanting to see, but just been putting off, never watching. And this is one of them, and it's one that I just constantly heard great things about. And actually, I didn't hear anything about the movie, and I didn't know. All I knew was kind of a horror movie. That was about it.
Right.
But so that's all I really knew about it. But I just heard great things about it, and I of course loved Key and Peele. You know, I'd gotten into that a little bit. A friend told me about Keanu, that movie there, which I thought was all right. But then, like in retrospect, I kind of sometimes quote a lot of things from there.
Okay.
So it was kind of like as I was watching, it was like okay, but maybe I need to watch it again.
I feel like the impression because Key and Peele had 6 seasons of maybe one of the best sketch comedy shows on like American on American TV, and people thought Keanu was kind of like this kind of postscript, this kind of swan song for them. They were kind of like very clear on like we're not really going to do anything creatively together after that. So I think it Keanu, I feel kind of people think it kind of sort of suffers in comparison a bit. That people like it's perfectly fine, like really pretty funny movie, but it's coming off the hills, off the heels of something really great.
Yeah, I'd probably say that. That's probably definitely true, and a good look into it. Like I didn't think of it that way, but just to see this kind of twist from one of the guys from Key and Peele specifically doing a horror movie. And then getting all this critical acclaim, it was like, all right, I got to watch it. And now just doing the cycle just forced it to watch it.
Right.
So I thought that was just great.
And Neil, how about you? What was interesting about so I believe out of the 4 of us, Naveen and myself hadn't seen this previously. Andy and Eric had. Was this a movie you would watch prior to agreeing to like do this particular show?
I had not seen it. In fact, the reason why I chose this movie, because you guys did give me a list of movies to pick from, is because I hadn't seen it, and it to go along with the theme, I had it in my queue for a long time, so long in fact that I had it in my Netflix DVD queue, and I got it delivered.
Really?
Yeah, I got it delivered to me, and when Netflix shut down, that's one of the movies I got to keep. And I still hadn't watched. At that point, I was like, I own it. I can watch it whenever I want to. Didn't watch it until you guys said, "Hey, we're going to talk about this." And I was like, "All right, now I got to."
Serendipitous. That's amazing.
That's like an appropriate get out. Like get out.
Get out, right?
Didn't Johnny read an article at the beginning of our cycle about this Netflix theory about holding on to a Netflix DVD
it's
never watching it?
As long as it's not a poem, he can read anything he wants.
We talked about like this kind of like a little bit of this sort of weird psychological phenomenon, but it was this really pretty good article from Newsweek kind of way back in the day when Netflix was still doing DVD rentals, but the guy was talking about like the most I'd ever spent on an individual movie was this copy of this Brazilian film City of God that I spent about $70 on over the course of a year because I just had it from a Netflix queue. It showed up. I'd always been meaning to watch it, but it just kind of kept sitting there. I think over the course of like this cycle, we've definitely kind of not cracked what that whole thing actually is, or like what this it was really interesting to me when Andy sort of proposed this as an idea for the cycle, because it's a kind of movie, it's a kind of thing you recognize instantaneously. Oh, this well-regarded, really interesting sounding thing, film that just sits there forever and forever, and I just never get to it for whatever reason. I think we, after kind of doing 4 of these things, we have still just no fucking clue what that actually is, but it has at least kind of given us motivation to kind of knock a few things. Andy, though, let's kind of go to you. So this is actually, why don't why don't we again kind of start with the brothers? Just general impressions. Like, after waiting so long, how was this? How was watching this movie for you guys?
This movie was great. I loved it. It kept me hooked and me wanting to like find out what's going to happen next. What's going to go? How are they going to tie things together? What's going to basically what's going to happen next? Like, I really wanted to continue watching, and was glued to the TV. I enjoyed every bit of it. The comedic aspects were awesome and well done, even with the racist party there that they had, and it's like, Tiger Woods, black people are fashionable, and all that stuff in there was just fantastic. And then, of course, Lil Ray, his little quips in there, and I'm going to throw in my trivia now and stuff. Just funny that the majority of his lines were ad-libbed. So that was awesome.
Incredible, right? Like,
Yeah.
Did any of you guys know him from anything else besides this movie?
I've seen other
him in
things,
other
but
things,
I couldn't tell you which movies they were.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have to. Yeah.
He was in a movie with Ryan Reynolds on. It was a Netflix release. The one where he's in like the GTA game.
Free Guy.
Free Guy.
No.
Yeah, he was in Free Guy. He was kind of like his best buddy in Free Guy. And he was really good in that too. I think he was a stand-up comic, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. He strikes me as one of these comedians. You hear other comedians talk a lot about it in interviews when kind of famous stand-ups are asked, who is your favorite, who's your personal favorite kind of like comic of all time? Like, they never answer, oh, it's Lenny Bruce or Robin Williams or Richard Pryor or Carlin or like whatever. It's always, the response is always some guy you have never heard of that does open mics only on alternate Thursdays. He's been doing it for like 15 years, and every time he comes on, it's just like a nuclear bomb has gone off on stage. But he's never made like a dime actually sort of doing anything kind of performing like whatever else.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, thoroughly enjoyed it. Glad I finally got to watch it. I guess a little bit annoyed that it took me so long to watch it. But at the same time, it was a great movie. I'm kind of definitely interested. Not kind of. I'm definitely interested in the other movies that came out afterwards that he did.
Yeah. And Neil, how about yourself? For as long as you've been meaning to get to, how was actually watching this film for you?
It was. I feel very similar to Navi. I'm very annoyed with myself that I didn't watch it sooner, because there's so many great things in there that like you could reference going forward. Well, not the racist things, but
He's like,
Who wants to play bingo?
We'll get there.
Your house play bingo.
Like I did not knowing, I did not spoil it for myself. I know people like find stuff out about movies unintentionally or intentionally, but like I purposely did not. The only thing I knew was the little bit of he goes into a white community with his girlfriend, and that was it, essentially all I knew about the movie. And it was a horror movie, which I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about that now, but I don't necessarily see this as a horror movie.
We'll kind of go through kind of general like impressions first. It's a really interesting kind of like question like about the film, but I'm just kind of curious to you guys as a group. This movie, I felt might be like a little bit kind of hard to explain almost to people who haven't kind of seen it, like of just what happens or why it's as good as it is, or just why it's as like effective as it actually is. Like, I think I've literally heard people talk about this movie for like 8 years, but sort of when I kind of sat down and get into it, I kind of personally realized, I know nothing about what's actually going to happen kind of going forward.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, is like Naveen was mentioning it. If you went and you watched like part of like the trailer to the movie, where you saw clips of it or something like that, those are small snippets of like the bigger thing of what's going on. And so I think you confuse yourself more by trying to figure out what it is from just watching parts of it versus seeing the whole thing and taking it in, because it from front to back, it just keeps adding different layers to it. And you're like, I think that's the point that makes it so suspenseful. You're like, what the fuck's going to happen? And again, it's like, I'm white, but understanding it. Yeah, I know. I had to.
You didn't put a spoiler in front of that.
We're recording this. Oh God damn it. Oh man. Totally doxed myself.
Right.
Not like I don't sound like the whitest guy on the pod, but being in that perspective, like, from Chris's perspective, you're in an uncomfortable situation surrounded by all white people and you're black. And it's like, I'm thinking from his side of things, like, what the fuck's going to happen? Like, you have that initial fear, like, you're not in a comfortable situation, but all the different things that keep happening make it worse and worse and worse. And it makes me wonder why he's being so forgiving to everybody around him, or so understanding when there's so many clear signs of danger.
Right. So that's a really interesting theme of the movie. Let's circle back to that a bit. But Eric, you want to just kind of build off on on that real quick? You'd seen this previously, but were you a fan of the movie?
So I remember, same thing like everybody else. I heard about it, like a sleeper hit. I went, saw it. I thought it was really good. Did not expect something like that from Jordan Peele, because I only remembered him from Mad TV. And seeing it a second time, like, holy shit. I mean, thank you to Naveen, because I would never really felt like I saw it once and I was like, that's enough for me. But seeing a second time, it really, like, it hit so much harder than that first time.
So it has rewatchability.
Yeah, I mean,
I did not think it would.
When did it come out again?
2017.
I saw it like shortly after it was like streaming, or you could rent it. And so, I mean, it's been like 7-8 years since I've watched it, and then watching it the second time, I'm like, oh my! Especially when you know what's going to happen, you expect it, but still, you really don't expect it.
And Andy, how about yourself? So this is a movie you said you watched previously on like the backseat of an airplane.
Yes. So the first time
was
I
it
watched,
your seat, or was it like somebody you were sitting next to?
it was my screen.
Your
My
screen.
screen. Yeah. So the first time I watched it on an airplane, and you told me that there are movies that you should not watch, or that you should make sure you watch on a big screen or whatever, because. So I made sure this time around to watch it on an airplane again. And I watched it on my phone on the airplane on Monday. And I will say, definitely holds up as an airplane movie. I also hadn't seen it in years. I don't remember when I saw it the first time, but it had been a long time. Neil, to your point, or to your question, it does have rewatchability. I don't know that it would have instant rewatchability. I don't think I could revisit it, in a year or something like that. But going down the road, and actually, without going too much into it, my favorite part of this movie was actually knowing what was going to happen and watching the performances and kind of trying to see if anyone had any chinks in their armor, any cracks in like their story,
through the lens of what the family is thinking the entire time.
Yeah. Because obviously the first time I watched it, I had no idea what was going on, obviously. So the second time, knowing what was happening, it was pretty cool to watch the performances over. And I would say, if anything, it made me like the movie more the second time than I did the first time.
Wait. Question: did you remember that the daughter or the girlfriend was actually in on it?
Yes,
you did. Okay, I completely forgot about that. And then when he found the box, because the whole time I kept flip flopping. I'm like, she's in on it, and then I'm like, no, she's not. She wants to escape with him. And then they found the box. He finds the red box, and I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. No, I did remember that part of it. There was stuff that I didn't remember. There was definitely stuff that I didn't remember, but yeah, I had the main gist of it still in my head.
See, I knew she was in on it from the beginning,
right?
Because
really?
Well, I knew she was in on it when they got to the house, and the mother and father are like, "Yeah, we have the party. It's the same date every year."
Yeah.
And she's like, huh?
Yeah.
And like, oh, she's in on it. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, she's in on it. So that box didn't actually
It
surprise
just kind of confirmed everything that you thought was kind of
Right.
obvious for the entire.
Why was that door open every time?
me. Yeah.
What the? Who? Was it supposed to be open, or
It's a small detail you can kind of pick nits with like a little bit, but like the horror trope of finding a box of old photographs and sort of flipping through and getting gradually more and more freaked out. I think it had to be done. I think so the movie could have like a scene like that.
I feel like now that you guys confirmed that, I probably would have been in Chris's shoes. I would have been like, I'm getting nookie. It's all good. I'll forgive crazy people, and then I'm strapped to a chair.
you were in a dorm full of Asian girls?
I know what the white folk do to those people, but what do the Asians do? Don't answer that. Nobody answer that. We're gonna cut all this out. So
Sweet.
So I have to say, in keeping with the theme that I have not at all kept with over the last several episodes, I'm going to give my Letterboxd review.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Neil, this is Andy's proprietary letterbox scoring system, where on a website where you can rate movies from 0 to 5. Andy consistently rates everything new that he watches on a score of 0 to 3.5. And it usually has nothing to do with whatever conversation we've had with him about the particular movie. So here we go.
What do we call this segment, by the way? There's like a name for the segment, is there?
We
did this before.
Box
Andy's
lunch.
Letterbox.
Box lunch. Box lunch.
Box lunch.
Okay. So
For box lunch, and what do we got?
To take it a little bit further, Neil, just so you're aware, one movie being rated a 2 is not the same as another movie being rated a 2. It's just in that moment, do I feel like a 2 is a good, a bad? I don't know.
Right.
So
because that's how numbers work.
Yeah. Well, if you recall, I was kind of the one that spearheaded the numbering convention for the Simpsons episodes, which were, if memory serves, 60. What was it? 67, 63.
He doesn't even remember now, so we're not going to.
I remember perfectly well. I made an administrative decision not to use floating point numbers in the episode scheme.
Yes, so 63A, 63 and 2/3, and 63.3.
Not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I stand by that decision. I think it's correct. Anyway.
And I stand by my decision to ignore all that.
Wait, can you give us before you give us your rating of this, can you give us an example of like a 0 rating versus like a 3.5 rating?
Oh, I would have to open up my letterbox and then figure out how to do that. Johnny could probably do it faster than I could.
I check Andy's on
Wait. How about Rocky Horror Picture Show? What would you give that?
I think I actually did get. Let me look. I think I did rank that.
We know Opportunity Knocks was a 0 or a 1. I think was the lowest you could give.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't know if it was the lowest, but it was
Rocky Horror is 1 star on my letterbox.
1 star. Okay.
It's a 1 star.
It does have a 0 star on there somewhere, though.
I do. But I don't have any idea how to find that out.
I look at his letterbox account almost every day.
Johnny is so much more involved and invested in my letterbox things than
fascinating.
I am.
It's
at this age, John doesn't get horny about a lot of things, but this one gets him like.
No, it's
fascinating
to me because when the police come to me and they ask, did you know your friend Andy was a serial killer? I'll be able to be like, yeah, I've been following him on Letterboxd for a bit.
It's always the ones you don't expect, Neil.
Not in this case.
As soon as you mentioned you had a review of Matilda, I was like, I'm not touching that.
Matilda's fucking awesome, and you
I
can
will not
kiss
touch
my
that.
ass.
No.
His lowest score at 1/2 star is a podcast pick called "We Are Little Zombies."
Oh, you shithead!
His next lowest after that is a 1-star review of a podcast movie we did called "Good Boys."
You
a little bit of a theme.
Both Eric movies, by the way.
Good Boys was better than a 1.
It was. It really was. It was so funny.
1 star for The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
gave
about
that
right.
1 star.
Yeah.
No, that's not correct. That one's wrong.
The Force Awakens is as good to you as Good Boys.
No, I would say The Force Awakens. I'll have to switch that because that's not right. The Force Awakens is probably a 3.
This is one of the situations of the same number meaning different things to Andy.
Correct. That is correct. So
3 out of a from a
3 out
1
of 5.
0 to 3.5.
3 out of 5.
Andy's
Okay.
very complicated.
Yes. I'm an enigma wrapped in a conundrum. I don't know, something like that. 3.5 stars
For
3.5
Get Out.
stars.
For what?
for Get Out.
The highest he's ever
Wow.
given a movie on the podcast.
Okay.
That's higher than Frankenhooker.
No.
No?
Frankenhooker
It's
was a
Frankenhooker.
4, wasn't
Is
it?
that a 4? Okay. Okay.
It was a 4, but not the 4 you're thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, again, no consistency in these numbers. Read nothing into it. At this point, I'm doing it really just to entertain Johnny.
All right, 3.5
Like,
stars
yeah,
for Get Out.
Nobody else cares.
I like knowing that I'm your highs and your lows.
Yeah, true.
You're just kind of his lows and lows at this point, dude.
I was gonna say, if you knew me since college, it'd just be all lows for you.
Yeah. Well, give me time. I've only known you for like a year and something.
4 stars for Superman. So I guess we did cover 1.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
new one?
Dabbling in the
Yeah.
4s.
I have plenty of 4s on there, guys.
You can
Oh
say
yeah,
it.
no, The Force
You can say
Awakens
it.
is not a 1 star.
Oh, wait.
Plenty of
4
guys.
stars for The Thing.
Get out.
I was gonna say the thing was
The
4 stars.
thing, yeah, that has to be at the top.
Yeah.
So the better question is, do I have any 5 stars?
I think it's 2 of the 3 Indiana Jones movies and maybe a Star Wars.
No,
Oh, no,
think-
you do have a 0 star for Opportunity Knocks.
yeah, no,
That's what I said.
the Goonies. The Goonies has got to be a 5 star.
Goonies, it's 5.
See, Spaceballs, Goonies, 2, Ghostbusters, Princess Bride, Django Unchained.
Django is so good. How has Tarantino never been on one of our podcasts so far?
He-
Either
Uh,
as a movie or
Keep reaching out to him, and he
Yeah, we
does
keep.
stuff.
I was gonna say the same thing. He just keep saying no. His publicist keeps saying no.
He's a tough guy to get on the phone.
Yeah,
Trust
something
me.
about 69 episode that didn't thrill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It wasn't so nice.
Wasn't so nice. For me, this movie,
Back to
this
Get Out,
one-
and Neil's like, "What is this podcast?"
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
we're talking about Get Out.
Yeah, you are living in Get Out right now. You can't
Right.
get out because
I
we're
can't
recording.
get out.
So just play
This is
along.
my-
His
Sunken
laptop
Place.
screen is moving further
Yeah.
and further away.
Yeah. Welcome to hell.
Man, like this movie for me, I always at least take like a page of notes when I'm watching a film, and I didn't write down like a single thing for Gonna Get Out because I was so locked in. I was just kind of so.
Dude, same right here.
Yeah.
I have like 3 lines in notes and that's it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
did not
it's
want to
it's a movie that, I mean, just because like the stuff that I kind of read, the shows and podcasts that I listen to, I heard when this movie kind of came out, there's a lot of conversation about sort of like just like the meaning and like the commentary on sort of race and class and society and like the authorship of everything that kind of Peele is doing. And like I went into this movie expecting it to have depth, expecting it to have like a lot of meaning. What I was not expecting was, in addition to having this movie having so much depth, which it does, it having so much surface, it having so much, you could put every interesting, specific, nuanced, complicated thing it's saying. You can watch the movie and take that in, kind of chew on it and like think about it and discuss it, but you can just watch this movie as just kind of pure entertainment and still have like the time of your life. A thing I discovered sort of flipping through like the old just old podcasts about this film or like the Letterboxd reviews is people said that watching this thing in the theater was a live movie high point for like a lot of people. They're like opening weekends for like weeks. This thing was just kind of sold out across the country. They said, I just been reading kind of people talk about like the theater is on the edge of its seat the entire time. And the moment when kind of Rod pulls up and he goes, "I'm the TS motherfucking A," everybody's like, they described it as if like fireworks would just go off like underneath like people's feet. Like the people were just jumping up into like the aisles and screaming. This movie was great. And it's something I definitely kind of have to like watch again at some point, because this is really, in addition to just kind of like sort of like picking up sort of more deeply on kind of like the storytelling elements, there are so many kind of clues and kind of and kind of hints and little kind of like the thematic beats that people who say like I've watched this movie kind of 3 or 4 times, I don't feel like I've kind of seen everything here yet. So
that's why I
Yeah.
want to watch it again. Is I
Yeah.
want to watch it and look for those like there's things I thought about after the fact, like him running towards in the middle of the night where he runs towards
Chris.
Chris.
runs
Yeah.
runs towards Chris. It's like then you're like, oh, he was a runner and he got beat by Jesse Owens.
right.
Okay, now it makes sense why.
Or the
he
thing
was
where like
running.
Keith Stanfield is kidnapped right at the front, and you see the guy kind of jump out of the car and put him in a headlock. It's
Headlock,
very
right.
obviously a wrestling headlock that like the older brother would.
Mhm.
So
Did anybody
much-
else think that was Dave Chappelle when he was at the party?
So immediately, yeah.
I was like, why is Dave
He
Chappelle in this movie?
I thought, get out, bitch.
I watched the beginning again
Uh-huh.
because, him in the party, I didn't recognize that it was him in the beginning.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I watched it again. I'm like, was that the same guy? Like,
Yeah.
I was waiting the whole time to figure out,
Yeah.
when's that guy gonna fall into play, and then also who's playing the Run Rabbit Run music.
Right.
I thought I didn't. I'm like, I started thinking, I'm like, is it the dad, like, or was it the grandfather? I don't know.
Mhm.
And then this was like flash forwarding to the future, so it's kind of cool though to wait and see and to figure stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
What else was Lakeith Stanfield? I don't whatever. What else do we know him from? Has he been in other stuff?
Yes,
Like, he looks really familiar.
he was in something really big as well. I'm trying to think of what it was.
he's just another one of those guys that like has been in a lot of things, but it's always been a side role, and it's hard to remember. Stephen Root, such a great actor,
Right.
but he's always been like this side guy and
Uh-huh.
just doing little bits, but he nails his parts.
Wasn't what's his name, Lakeith?
Mhm.
Lakeith.
He was in some movie
Yeah.
recently where he plays like a telemarketer who
Just has kind of a nervous breakdown, like a
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. I can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
movie.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, that's what he was. I
Oh.
think he was the lead in that.
So what I was thinking too is in 2021, Daniel Kaluuya also released a movie with him called Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes. Okay.
So they were both in that too.
Could somebody check if Lakeith is British, because that's an interesting sort of little side
Interesting,
detail.
yeah.
He's
He's
not.
not.
He's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He does look a lot like Chappelle. Like a young
He's Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle after he took the substance.
Hey, Substance was just added to HBO Max.
Oh,
It was. I'm not gonna watch it.
I gotta
Okay.
watch it.
Is that gonna be on your queue?
It's on my queue already. I put it on there.
Oh wow. Okay.
for like the next 10 years.
I'm not gonna wait 10 years to watch it.
Yeah.
We'll save that one for like an episode that Eric has to miss. 'Cause that is,
Thank you.
I need other people to tell Eric he's wrong.
I don't think anybody will. Do you think anybody on this pod would say that I'm wrong? I mean, we're talking about that movie specifically, not about everything else. Up until this point.
Let's not bring up any of the other things I've said in the 125 hours we've been doing this goddamn thing.
I was like, look,
What's
The Boys, I think, is a 2-star movie.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a 3-star, 3.5. It's
Thank you. You.
The Good Boys. It was a good movie. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Great
3 stars.
Boys.
Numbers don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Let's get to the questions.
All
So,
right.
Naveen put out like a very, like I said, like a very interesting kind of thoughtful questions for this movie. But like off the top, is this widely accomplished horror movie something you would expect from one of the guys who did Key and Peele? Because this is again, this is his directorial debut, his first movie out the gate. And even like you look at even fucking like people like Scorsese and Kubrick made a couple stinkers at the start of their career before they kind of got to like the they're kind of they're really accomplished work, and for Jordan Peele, this is his first goddamn thing. So thoughts about that, like up top?
So again, I'll start it off. No, right off the bat, it's like I would not expect this. Just knowing about the sketch comedy show they had, Keanu, and then to go into the horror genre and try to pull that off was not expecting, and then to actually just hear about it and it doing so well that it was just that good.
First movie immediately wins a major Academy Award, gets nominated for three of the biggest ones on top of that.
Right. And then even still watching it, myself watching it and being so hooked on it and wanting to know what's more. I mean, it was definitely pretty awesome. Like, I mean, what else is in this guy's arsenal that, he's just been locking away for so long doing other things.
Right. Yeah. Like 12 years of Mad TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So definitely did not expect something like this.
If he was in this, like acting, I don't think I could take it as seriously as I did.
Sure.
Just knowing all the stuff that he's done. The thing is when I think of like Jordan Peele, my mind immediately goes to that Mad TV episode where they're doing Family Feud, and it was Team Lord of the Rings
versus Team Cold Mountain.
Maybe that's what it was. I was trying to think what the other team is, and Jordan Peele's playing Smeagol. Do you remember this?
I have not
And
seen
he had that famous line. And
I think I only watched Mad TV in the 90s, and I think I lost track of it after that.
Eric's family kept with Mad TV the entire goddamn time.
Yeah, we did. Will Sasso. Oh my God, that guy was a saint.
Will Sasso was great.
But yeah, he plays Smeagol, and he just says, "Smeagol likes Spice Channel," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, it's funny because I'm like 16 or 17. I'm like, "Oh my God, I watch Spice Channel. I know what Spice Channel is. Oh my God, this joke was made for me." So yeah, Mad TV was that was my Mad TV. That was mine.
He did not make the Taika Waititi call within Jojo Rabbit of writing, directing, and starring like him.
Thankfully, he didn't. If he did, you would immediately think of Jordan Peele as like the comedian versus. I'd be waiting for him the whole time to be like, "So did you say it? Did you say it? Yeah, I said it. Yeah, you called it. Yeah. I said, Bill."
Or the Obama anger translator, like the million.
Yeah,
it was a good choice on his part not to be in it. Because
Absolutely.
it probably would have taken away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't want to say I'm completely surprised that he made a horror movie, just being a Kevin Smith fan and knowing that Kevin Smith made a horror-esque movie and he was considered widely as a comic, a comedic writer.
Yeah.
Obviously he hasn't really gone back to doing horror movies, but he did. I think he was relatively successful with the one he did.
Tusk.
Yeah, he did Tusk as well, but Red State was Red State was probably the first one that they considered to be. I mean, it's not really it's in the vein of this one as a psychological type of horror movie, not a direct. Tusk was more of a horror movie.
Right.
Oh my God, Tusk is painful. That was one of my early Halloween movie watches, and I was falling asleep on the second half. Because Johnny Depp shows up as like a French detective, and then it's pretty much the Johnny Depp show the entire way through.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. Tusk was not good.
No.
I enjoyed it only because I had followed it from. I listened to his Kevin Smith podcast.
Yeah,
it started as a podcast conversation, right?
Well, actually, there was a guy in England who offered money or took out an ad saying, "If you'll dress up like a walrus, you can stay in my house. I have a room for you." Like a walrus. And that's how the whole thing. They were like, "We got to meet this guy. We got to." And he took that ad and basically wrote an entire movie off of that.
Amazing.
Wow.
And he finally met the guy after the movie was out and all that, but. It was a joke the whole time. The guy put the ad in is just a joke. He was trying to be
it's
funny.
just a weird, absurd, just like little thing. Let me go.
Yeah.
World and,
Mm-hmm.
I like how he picks Justin Long too. He's just like, what's something that I want to destroy?
Right.
Everything about Justin Long.
Right.
So anyone else out there about expecting this as a Peele movie?
I shared on the group chat last night because Jordan Peele from the Mad TV. I've seen that Smeagol clip repeatedly just from being friends with Eric and just him kind of showing it to me kind of random points over the years.
Buzz channel. Makes no sense. He's on Family Feud.
The other team again is from Cold Mountain. And the Nicole Kidman character is going, "Come back to Cold Mountain, Larry." It's nothing. It's
and my axe.
But you know, just being like a fan, like Key and Peele, like this is a thing that came into the conversation of like after he had this huge hit, being almost exclusively like a comedy director all this time. A lot of people went back to Key and Peele sketches, and like a lot of the commentary was, if you look at like a bunch of Key and Peele sketches, they all, a ton of them really kind of have horror elements, dark elements to them. Like, you know, they're kind of framed in a way where it's still very, very funny, but there's something extremely kind of dark and fucked up kind of going on at the same time. I think kind of like, you know, just kind of comedy directors kind of going out of horror. I think you've also seen like a lot of success of that pretty recently with, you know, from The Whitest Kids You Know, Zach Kreger. He had this great little indie horror movie, Barbarian, a couple years ago, and then he did Weapons this year, which still stands as one of my one of the absolute sort of, I think, like best things that I've kind of seen in theaters. And I think on the like the inverse side of that, you see horror directors, when they decide to do comedy, can just make some of the funniest shit. Like very obvious one there is you know, just, you know, John Carpenter, famous for, you know, something like the biggest just kind of like modern horror films that have been made. But you know, you watch Big Trouble in Little China, or like even like his kind of more sci-fi kind of horror stuff, like They Live, those movies have some like the funniest shit that you've ever seen in it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make like a ton of sense on the surface, but I think if you just kind of consider it a bit, like, you know, there is a thing that kind of horror and comedy both sort of share, of like control of tone is really, really important, or just like the ability to kind of to build up tension and then kind of release that tension is like very, very important. And like a thing that people sort of said about Jordan Peele as well, like, you know, he had never really kind of did a feature, but he'd been working for TV for years and years. And you know, you watch some of the old Key and Peele sketches, and you can kind of say, you know, like the not just the acting, but also the writing and directing and editing, and those things are just really, really. Some of them are really, really great for just kind of like a 2 to 3 minute thing that's just intended to kind of get like a couple laughs.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see Keanu, but I was a decent fan of Key and Peele. I can't say that I watched it religiously, but I was like what they did on there. There was a ton of kind of like odd, off-putting, unsettling characters and situations on that show. So I guess some of the clues were kind of there that he had that in him. I would have expected, you know, that he would have just gone on to do comedy stuff, because that seems like the path of least resistance. But I think it's cool when somebody kind of goes against the grain, so to speak, and tries something that's maybe out of their wheelhouse or their comfort zone. I mean, you know, you find out that Peele, his favorite kind of movie is horror. His favorite genre.
A complete obsessive. You listen to the Talking Podcast. He said that, I think it's like 5. He said there are 5. He's never specified which, but he said there's 5 different shots in Get Out that are directly taken out of The Shining. There's like 2 or 3 different shots that are directly taken out of Halloween.
Yeah, the opening scene is a
Yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, I felt it.
thing.
Oh, interesting.
The running scene, I believe, I read was North by Northwest from like 1959. I've never seen that. It's pretty old, but just some things I read.
Great movie.
North by Northwest, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this movie has Hitchcock elements in it.
For sure.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, definitely. Just the things he pulled. I mean, I think I may have read the same website Naveen did. There were definitely pulls from other movies that you could, after watching it, I saw. I didn't notice it when I was watching it, but
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, like that's a good sort of pivot to like Naveen's kind of next question here, and I think this is one like sort of like the big ones of the discussion. But is this more of a horror flick or more of a thriller movie? Like, could this movie be just as strong without the plot twist, the brains swapping? Instead, they just did something like purely off like hypnosis alone.
I was gonna say the brain swapping was channeling like mad scientist vibes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that out with the hypnosis, I'm like I think it was mentioned. If it was just hypnosis versus doing the other stuff, would it still be as effective? I think that's what you're trying to ask. And I mean, I think it would. I think it would. I think it's just on how you. I mean, if you think about how the movie plays out, it could have all been hypnosis, and then people get awakened almost, or the brain gets stirred when they get like exposed to a flash.
What's the procedure? The coagula, I think it's called.
Yeah. But it's so weird because they have him watching the TV, like Chris watching the TV to learn about the procedure. And because you keep trying to think the whole time, what the hell does the dad have to do with this?
Right.
Like he's the one piece, like he's like a brain surgeon, but it seems like he's not practicing. So is he retired? Like what's going on with him? And then when stuff starts to
he's
fall
still
into place,
practicing.
like what's that?
Yeah, no, nothing.
He just said he's still practicing.
Just yeah.
When you retire, you got to have hobbies.
Yeah. He took a whittling. I don't know. Bingo. He has bingo tournaments.
Bingo and sparklers.
Yeah, I know. Who wants some sparklers? There better be some bingo, you son of a bitch. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of suspense, and the suspense is derived from the unknown. So if you want to say it's like a horror movie versus not a horror movie, I mean, I'm fine whatever you want to call it. I think there are a lot of horror movies that might not even fall in the horror genre,
right? But
it's just how they are interpreted by the viewers. I think it's kind of like each person's own horror. Like, what do you consider just something that's just like awful that you would never want to see? You know, you experience or see somebody else experience, and then you get to experience it through their eyes.
Right.
I had this question, but I didn't put it on the list. And then Neil's like, you got to put this on the list. Like he came up with this on his own and told me to put it on there. So I was like, all right, we got to do this one. And for me, watching it, the first thing came to mind was like, this is just a thriller. It's a thriller movie. And I had to look it up. I'm like, so I looked it up, looked up the difference between thriller and horror and things. So they're both basically the same. The only different aspect of horror is something that's, not real, like most likely not going to happen or can't happen. And I guess the horror aspect,
horror can be based in reality. Thrillers are almost exclusively based in reality, and I think it's the coagula thing that just kind of tips it into the scale. But like the conventions are just just genre is really kind of like a sort of like a very kind of tricky thing to kind of like pin down at like the end of the day. But it's like horror movies can have fantastical elements. Thriller movies almost exclusively don't. I think. Like
I was gonna say, what would Psycho be?
Horror thriller?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then I would say when you got to the part where you find out it's like this brain swapping thing, that would be where it became a horror. And if you didn't put that horror in, I would think it'd still be more like a thriller where they tried to hypnotize and put you in. But that's where I came up with for that question.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna kind of piggyback off of that. What I wrote is exactly that. Basically, it would have been a different movie, but I think it would have still been successful. I think it still would have been compelling, and I think it would have been more believable. And I don't say that in a negative way, like that it wasn't a believable movie or I didn't like it or whatever. But I think that if it was just the hypnosis side of it, making these mindless, sort of slave zombies, whatever, like that's a little bit more believable than the fact that these people are going into brains and switching personalities and all that kind of stuff. Both would have been very effective, just different.
Yeah.
I saw this definitely more as a suspense, almost like an M. Night Shyamalan, twist movie. at the end.
which they call blanket across the board all
Yeah.
horror movies. which
Right.
didn't really-
I don't know that I would consider
Chris,
it a
you
horror
must know I can't give you the keys. I mean, that's a very like that's where the whole thing.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I mean, I felt that way. As far as the hypnosis, I don't know what the payout. I can't figure out what I would feel is a proper payoff for the hypnosis if there was no brain swapping. The
Right.
brain swapping payoff just aced it for me.
Mhm.
Because it was like I did not see that coming. I didn't think it was going to happen.
yeah.
And then I started putting together all the pieces with the way certain people acted in the movie and what they said,
how
etc.
it kind of feels like there's kind of two people in there, like
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, if it was hypnosis, what would the payoff it? What could they have done to make me just be like, whoa?
it with just hypnosis. I don't think it would feel like quite like the same like level of stakes are necessarily there.
Mhm.
I agree. The thing I was thinking too is I'm like, the whole time you're watching, I'm sure you guys have thought the same thing. Who's hypnotized and who's not hypnotized? I kept thinking the brother over
Right.
years of conditioning's been hypnotized multiple times. The daughter, the same thing, the way she's just, you
Mhm.
know, situations they put themselves in. I'm like, who would like knowingly, like her especially, who would knowingly go and like have sex with all these guys and bring them back and then sell them off, to the highest bidder?
Right.
I mean,
For all we know, they were right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think enough has been said in this podcast about the brother. The actor's name is Caleb Landry Jones.
Mhm.
Talk about a dude that puts in just an upsetting.
For about
unsettling-
6 minutes of screen time, the entire because we all knew a dude like that either in high school or college, like that.
I have this.
The scary thing.
I have this completely unfinished theory.
same guy.
I have this completely unfinished theory that the brother is actually Kevin McAllister. 'Cause I think he's sort of-
That's what I was waiting for. I
Yes.
was waiting for that to be like Kieran or something. I'm like, here he comes. I see him from the distance. Then he got closer, and I was like, what is this, like Toad from X-Men? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, he looks a little bit like a less successful Macaulay Culkin.
100%.
Yeah.
You find I mean, he's like a fourth tier Baldwin or something like that.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
he definitely made me feel uncomfortable every moment he was up there.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
He was great.
Dude, like, calm down.
Yep.
And I'm like, do I act like that when I'm drunk?
Yes, you do.
You know, some guys that they got those eyes, they got that twitchiness, you got that sort of fucked up, undirected energy that you're just like the entire time, like you're.
They get a
trying
drink
to-
in them. They're like, come on over here. Come here. I want to do something to you. You're like, no.
I want to get you in a headlock. You want to feel it?
Yeah.
The thing I think that, I mean, it would have been a good movie if it was just like a mind control sort of thing, or like a pure sort of hypnosis thing. But I think the reason Peele kind of wrote specifically, there's a slightly fantastical sort of surgery element put into it, and I think he made this choice because what he really wanted to do was have like that one scene between Chris and Stephen Root's character. So like the way the kind of story is kind of phrased up at this point, you're like, it's what this family is doing. It has like a slave trade analogy, and it's trying to keep the older generation wants younger, healthier Black bodies that can sort of kind of pilot around and like whatever else. But the way it's framed is they're just interested in like the body, the frame, like the physicality of it. But the brain surgery element enables Stephen Root to kind of say through that, like the videos feed to Chris, he's like, I don't even care about your bodies, about your body. I want your eyes. I want your spirit and your soul. So it's not even like a thing of just kind of like the. It's sort of like a difference between sort of like the healthy young body sort of being kind of just momentary and temporary versus just I want your skill, your photography skill. I want your soul. I want your artistry. I don't even give a fuck about being kind of younger once. I want the thing about you that's supposed to be immortal. If it's just a hypnosis movie, I just don't think he can kind of do that the same kind of way.
I think his villain turn is maybe one of the most chilling in the movies too. Like in the movie, like he goes from being this kind of nice, friendly guy who
goes from being Jimmy James. He goes
right,
from being just fucking Stephen
right,
Root, right?
right, to being just like this, just dark, evil dude in like in a split second. I had forgotten how he factored into the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this dude. Like he's kind of cool. He seems to know that this is a weird situation and like these people are kind of freaky and strange and whatever. Maybe he's like the one semi-good dude in this group. And then I was
that's how he's framed when Chris is just kind of like overwhelmed to walk around the party, and he sort of comes up and then he's talking to Stephen Root, and Root's immediately like, yeah, just these guys are these other people are all idiots. Let's have like an actual conversation.
Ignorance.
Yeah. They took my stapler.
Exactly. That's the crazy fucking like it's wild with Stephen Root how many shades he can still play while continue being like the same motherfucker the entire time.
Yeah. And it definitely took a turn there with Stephen Root, and when you're all of a sudden in the bidding, and then he's the last one. He's like, I win.
Like,
I was like, oh,
I'm guessing it was like 10 million.
Yeah.
He did like the both hands, like they're doing like 2, 3, and then he went straight to 10. And then I'm like, it's somebody with money who has money, but I didn't put the connection until they revealed after.
Right. Yeah, I didn't either.
But it's weird because I felt at one point, I'm like, because they connected, Chris and him connected so well. I'm like, would Chris be open to like sharing like a brain with him? But I mean, once the guy's body's gone, then Chris is just Chris with 2, brains trapped in it. So like that guy and his talent and his career and everything go away. And so Chris is just kind of, fledging on his own like he was before.
It's the whole thing, like the scene of the Sunken Place, and basically like it sets up what the stakes of it is, because it sort of shows the audience kind of like a representation, like what the experience of actually kind of being stuck in one of these brains is going to be like. He said like we leave a little bit of you intact around the spine and the brain stem, and so your consciousness is still kind of in there, but you're going to be more or less like in the Sunken Place the whole time.
Let me ask you this though, getting back to this being a horror movie, like how did you guys feel when she said sink? The mother said sink. Chris gets pulled into the Sunken Place, and then just being in this void of nothingness where you can't even speak and you just can't move. There's no gravity and you're just trapped there for eternity. That's like a personal hell for me.
You can see what's happening. Like
you can see what's happening.
Like, yeah. No, I agree.
Reactions, and at that moment when I experienced this the first time I saw the movie too. As soon as she said sink, you see his eyes open wide, and then he gets pulled into the void. Right. I could just feel like my chest sinking. I went down there with him, and I was like, "That's so fucking terrifying."
Yeah. It was done extremely well, and it definitely had an effect. I felt it when it happened.
What's really interesting to me, that's not like a personal phobia to me. Like that's something I didn't quite connect to, but it's wild. I mean, I think this kind of speaks to like sort of like a lot of the film's kind of cultural impact and kind of staying power, that the concept of the Sunken Place spoke to so many people who actually kind of
imagine being in the theater. It's completely dark.
Oh yeah, right. You got like the screen far away.
Right in, you can see on the big screen the tiny little square.
Right.
I feel like it'd be a totally different experience in the theater. Yeah. I mean, I hope they bring it back. Whenever they do those anniversaries, like the 10-year anniversary.
I know.
Yeah.
What if they do it in 3D?
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus Christ!
I don't know if I could watch that.
Yeah, that would break me.
Yeah.
So moving on through the questions, but some horror movies they end up like where the lone survivor doesn't actually make it, doesn't escape. Did you think this was going to be one of those movies where Chris was ultimately not going to make it out?
Yes.
I didn't think he was going to make it either.
Yeah. When the police car showed up, I thought it was going to be the police showing up, and it was like, oh, we're with we're part of the crew here, so you're done. You got caught.
I love how they do that. You're like, it's the white cop from before that was giving them shit when they first.
Yeah. And it was just awesome when it was TSA motherfucker, TS motherfucking A.
Okay. the movie does such like an amazing job of just kind of ratcheting that tension the entire time, kind of releasing it.
It did give a very happy ending to a movie that you didn't think it was going to happen, or I didn't think it was going to happen. I should say. I don't want to speak for everybody. I did not see it paying off for him.
For some reason in my head, I remembered that. Well, I remembered that there was a cop at the end, and I was thinking that meant that he must get arrested and end up in jail for, like basically getting framed for doing something that he didn't do, which is exactly how they set the whole thing up. I had forgotten that it was his buddy that showed up at the end. And so when it's revealed that it's Rod, like I was like elated. I was like, oh fuck, that's right. He's going home, bitches. Like, he's gonna be fine. Die in the road, white lady. I was happy about that.
Did you think about it afterwards though too? You're like, his fingerprints and DNA are all over the place, and there's no survivors.
Yeah.
This was also like a big conversation they had on the Rewatchables episode of like this movie, but like a lot of the hosts were like, Rose is just going to stand up and just walk home at some point. Like
I was waiting for that.
He's actually going to bleed out.
Yeah.
They had that little like, what was it? After 5 seconds of doing the post credits, they cut to the scene where they make you think that she's going to get up, and then she doesn't.
I might actually missed that shit.
Yeah. It's like they cue up the music for the post credits, and then it goes back and it shows her lying there, and you're like, oh my god, she's gonna get up. She's gonna get up.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's a real horror movie, and we got a sequel.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like for me, I thought like the tone of this movie is so committed to being funny where it can, and like Peele is such a comedian, and he's such like a storyteller, like and a showman at the end of the day. This is just not one of those movies where like an unhappy ending would have felt like really, really good. And I think he kind of sensed that. Eric and I, we cover quite a lot of horror on the spinoff pod, but even for like things we could like discuss in the mainline, the hardest thing to do in horror well is end the thing properly. This movie had, and again, for anybody who hasn't seen Weapons yet, there's kind of like a real analog there. You have like the tension just ratchet and ratchet and ratchet up like the entire time. Naveen and I was lucky enough to kind of get to see like the Weapons in person with like Naveen like about a month or so ago. And the last 5 minutes of that movie, you're floating in midair the entire time. Like the way that they wind that goddamn thing down. Yeah, I think that this movie with an unhappy ending instead, I don't think it's making like $250 million like a $5 million budget. Yeah, if they kind of went a pressing angle with it.
I mean, if you see his other 2 movies though, he does switch it up. So he's not like a one-trick pony. He doesn't do the same thing every time. He does something completely different.
Right.
So
he probably did think about ending this with a not so happy ending, with the framing and him getting caught.
Yeah,
he absolutely did. I actually read something that said that he was thinking about ending it the way I thought it was going to end the second time, where like he actually does end up in jail, and then they like blast forward several months or a year or whatever, and somebody, I forget, I think it was his buddy, goes in to see him in prison, and he's kind of at peace with with where he's at, because at least nobody else has to go through.
And he made it out alive for like, which is for the right film, for the right horror story, is absolutely like a way to kind of end those things.
Yeah.
It just, I think the reasoning behind him not doing it was that he was like, that's what would happen in real life.
Yeah,
the black guy would get framed.
Right.
I mean, it's the reason, despite him, Chris fleeing for his life the entire fucking movie, he sees the cop car. The first thing he kind of does is like put his hands up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's funny though, because all the black dudes that are hypnotized and then they go through the coagular surgery, all of them pretty much get killed off. At least it seems that way, except for the one true one that's actually a sex slave.
Yeah. They never come back to
leave him as is. They're like,
they never come back to Lakeith.
No, yeah, they never go back to him. They're like, you know what? It's not all that bad.
Bit of a Gilded Cage situation.
Yeah, I know. Could be worse.
And
Well,
is
next
Groot
question.
okay?
There was Tiger Woods. He got to live as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Obama got elected a third term. That's awesome.
Given the situation, do you think you would be able to flip a switch and start killing people in order to survive? Like, this is a very interesting one to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the answer to that?
For you, I want to know your answer. Yes.
Oh, yes, I would. Yeah. I see them all fun and games on the outside, but if I had to like survive and that meant murder, I would definitely murder.
That doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if I'd come back though. That's the problem.
Right.
I'd be like, this is the thing. This is my hobby. This is the thing I do now.
This is me now.
Yeah. You kind of like grow up and
I'm a
evolve as a
serial killer
person.
now.
Yeah, I'm just like that guy that kills people with hands.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that one. I mean the
Then Andy was like, "Welcome, my brother." I'm trying to tell you what my letterbox account.
Yeah,
is
I
so
know.
long.
Yeah, tell me again about weird little zombies. What was that?
So like, let's
4-star
rage.
movie.
Motherfucker.
4 stars.
it got changed to
Thank
4 stars.
Well,
You know what?
I mean,
I feel good about you now.
it got changed to 4 stars now, knowing that Jojo Siwa is also a serial killer.
How
Don't
about this
sleep.
question?
Artistes.
Let's have the 3 white guys answer before. Just
Before the off-white guys.
consideration. So you guys know
Wow,
what you're dealing
okay.
with. Yeah, Andy, how about yourself?
I would not at all be surprised if I was able to do what he did, and I would also not at all be surprised if I was not able to do what he did. It's impossible to say until you're faced with that situation. I like, the macho side of me, which is not very prominent, but the macho side of me would like to think that I'd be able to like rise to the occasion and like, go to bat
Get
for myself that way.
Yeah.
But the rest of me is like, oh, you're totally going into the quiet place. The deep, what is it?
Sunken Place. The Sunken Place.
Yeah, the Sunken Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My Place is a different podcast.
that's
I don't
right,
know, man.
That's
You
right.
like push yourself with like CrossFit. I mean, I would never punish myself that way. So the fact that you can continually do something like that to yourself, I think you're hard enough. You could kill.
Maybe, I don't know.
I won't take you hunting because both of us won't shoot anything, but
No, we would
like
just have a
that
nice
situation,
conversation
might be
and a good
different.
walk.
yeah,
Up in a
I'll take-
tree.
go for a walk. Yeah, have a nice picnic lunch. I'll do
Yeah.
that.
That sounds lovely, actually. Let's put that on the
Yeah,
calendar here.
yeah. What's the weather like tomorrow? 33 degrees?
Cold.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny.
Yeah, for me, what's really interesting about the movie, and like the thing I feel like I would fall into too, is it's impossible to know or predict what your adrenaline, what your headspace would be like in that situation, whether you just gonna go completely fucking kind of crazy in John Wick, or whether you just gonna just curl up into like a ball and start screaming. What I think Peele does kind of so well in this movie, it depicts, it's like, Chris gets free, the brother beaten half dead with bocce balls, boom. The dad killed with the deer antlers, boom. Like the
That was
mom.
hilarious.
The mom
That was
taken out.
fun.
No problem. The brother taken down again. Just with like the wrestling moves, like, and everything else. He's just bing bang boom, and then you can kind of what I think is sort of so interesting, and I think kind of pretty emotionally like observant about like people in these kind of just absolutely the most heightened human situations possible where you're fighting for your life. He goes from fucking killing spree to down to all of it drains out of him at the same time when he gets into the car. And then he sees like the maid / grandmother, and despite all reason, picks up her unconscious body, puts her in the car with him, and that's basically like the last violent act he he doesn't commit an effective violent act again for like the rest of the movie. He it just grandmother in the car dies because of the car accident. The grandfather basically has to be kind of coerced into killing himself, and he can't bring himself to even kind of finish the job with his kind of girlfriend, like at the end of the movie. Like I like about film, and I kind of think it speaks to just how insane and unpredictable that kind of thing can kind of be. Is that the fact he is so all over the map with that is, I think, just what would happen to like a lot of people in that same situation.
It's human. Although Georgina, I felt like in his mind that was his redemption moment.
That was his kind of
just
mother.
as much a victim as everybody else, and he's like, I can't leave her there like my mother, and he flashes back to that.
It's the same as his mother. It's the same as the deer at the beginning of the movie.
Because it's like you think at that point, like the real horror is over.
Uh-huh.
And even his girlfriend, it's like even though she's kind of lumped in with them, I don't know if he's giving her the benefit of the doubt or what, but yeah, he can't choke her out. And staring somebody directly in the eyes and choking them to death, I can imagine it's something that anybody can do.
Right. Well, you know, it's a thing. Like I've known a small number of people that, like around our age, that served in Iraq or served in Afghanistan, and what you hear from them is like the thing that fucks you up is just it's not even like the reality of the things that you do. It's the knowledge that somebody out there would want to take your own life, or it's the knowledge that to save my own life, I would maybe have to like take like the life of another. It's not the specifics of the action. It's just kind of wrapping your head around like this as that it's wrapping your head around the possibility space that these kind of things just may just be out there in the world.
Yeah. This is getting like really intense, by the way.
Okay.
All right, enough of the murder talk. I think we're all
we haven't heard.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from the boys yet.
All right. Yeah, you want to go first on this one?
Sure, so I'd love to think that I'd have the wits about me that Chris does in this to do what he did, and then be able to do that. Now, in reality, do I think I'd do everything I could to try and escape, and at that point, I think you would have to be able to hurt somebody else to get out.
Right.
No pun intended. But I don't know if I could or couldn't. I mean, like Andy said, unless you're actually in the situation, how do you, I mean, I could freak out and just freeze, you know, which is the reaction I would assume I would actually have.
Well, plus there's an element for us of being in our 40s as opposed to being teenagers. And
very, very good point. You know,
there may be a psychological thing for us. So you think, yeah, you know what? I've had my time.
I'm going to hit 50 and it's like, yeah, I got to beat up Bradley Whitford. Maybe. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah. Basically the same as Andy and Neil. Like to think I could go all Rambo and stuff and just take everybody out when I need to, but I probably wouldn't, and end up, you know, having some white dude in my body and doing that stuff.
Sexy.
In the end.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what kind of stuff? Tell me more.
Right. Well, maybe you'll be that white dude in my body. All right.
You got any white guy in you? You want some?
Although I probably wouldn't be
It
chosen.
feels like I'm making my own movie. It's called Get In.
I know.
How'd you know? But yeah, but
Friends a long time.
But the thing is, at the same time, for me, it'd be like I probably wouldn't get chosen because most people think I'm white already if they didn't know what I look like or knew my name.
None of us are getting chosen because we're all in our 40s, and like, you know, all of us got like what, 2-3 good years left, generously.
Not even. Come on.
We're off the shelf at this point, dude.
Oh God, the milk is spoiled, my dude.
Well, I wasn't saying right now. I mean, if in my heyday, if ever so had one. But yeah, don't know if I do it. But how good was that poetic justice with the father of Armitage? Like the whole beginning, he's like, "I hate deer. Kill them all. Kill them all." And what does he do?
Yeah.
He takes off the deer head from the wall. He's like,
Everybody sort of got like a thematic death, right? Like
Yeah.
you know, like the mom was killed in the therapy office. The brother was beaten to death multiple times with like sporting equipment.
Yeah.
Everybody got like a version of that. Let's let's go to like the last of these questions, and then we'll kind of do like trivia and wrap up. But
Can I throw in a question?
sure, please.
Go for it.
Do you think this movie would be as effective if the races were reversed?
And still in the States?
Sure. Let's say it's in Harlem instead of instead of the South. I don't know how you'd pull that
Well,
off.
I think
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I read where like that family was his. This will only like just only like Naveed and Neil will kind of get this, but I kind of read as them like the just living in like Litchfield Hills, you know.
Right, I could see that.
Yeah.
I just wonder if somebody did a version of this where it was the opposite. You know, would it have the same feeling to it?
I don't feel like Andy, Eric, or myself are really allowed to answer that question.
Yeah, nobody would watch it because it'd be racist.
Well, I mean, well,
To be honest.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the movie White Chicks.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I feel like
or that like Eddie Murphy,
Basically.
White Like Me SNL sketch. Where,
Right.
I don't think they would want anything to do with us.
Right.
No.
We don't want anything about his brain whatsoever.
Mhm.
He has nothing to offer us.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it should still work.
I mean, I think it'd be more. That would be Jordan Peele's comedy. Instead of a horror movie, he'd just make it a straight out comedy.
Mhm.
But you're right. They already made White Chick, so why would they have to make
Right.
another?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and there's plenty of other ones that do something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're going like a little bit over time right now. So why don't we wind down on some trivia with the movie before we kind of get to before we kind of close the cycle out. There are so many versions of this. I want to like leave like extra time for trivia. But one thing I did not see on IMDb, but was kind of pointed out in like sort of like the letterbox reviews of this movie at one point. Rose is wearing a white and Rose, I think, is wearing like a red and white striped sweater, and Chris is wearing like a blue sweater. And at one point, it looks like Rose kind of like stands above him. She goes and to kind of hug him, to put his arms around him, and it looks at that point like he's being strangled by the American flag.
Whoa.
That's
I'll
That's
have to
another
rewatch
reason
that.
to watch.
Yeah.
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 But did you say you couldn't find a picture of it, or you?
no,
knew
I couldn't find. I didn't see it listed in any of the major trivia stuff. It was like a rando
Oh.
kind of like letterbox comment I saw.
That's pretty cool.
Within this movie, there's about like a million different versions of that thing. Like Chris literally gains his freedom at one point by picking cotton.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that one. Pick cotton, put it in his ears.
I don't know why he took it out though.
He has like the slave shackles
Yeah.
on,
Yep.
which was an intentional choice. The bingo game's like a slave auction.
Mhm.
Like right away, I saw that. I was like,
Yeah.
"You're kidding me."
I like that Key was in this. He was one of the people that she looks at on the computer, one of the basketball players.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
He was
I
on
didn't
the-
know that.
Yeah,
Damn.
so people say Key was in the movie because of that.
Nice. I'll have to rewatch that part too.
Yeah. I didn't notice it either.
Which one of his NBA, which one of his kind of college draft from like Key and Peele, which one of his names? The ones where it's just all chainsaw noises or the dolphin?
That was a football, right? Or was that the basketball? Some of my trivia things were kind of already said. I was going to bring up the fact that he was first African American, writer, producer, director, that got all these awards and crossed over, $250 million.
It set every record. It's going to make us
Right. So that was pretty neat. And then the whole thing with the running scene of the grandfather running towards him was just to bring you in, and that was from, I believe, North by Northwest.
Right.
Yeah. So those were
Rise of Skywalker has a scene where Kylo is in a TIE fighter and he's chasing Rey down, and she's just kind of running, and then she pulls her lightsaber out. Also stolen directly from North by Northwest. That's-
I didn't know there were lightsabers in North by Northwest.
that would be dope as hell.
It was a
go way back.
Yeah. Neil, I've been trying to get the guys to do like a random Star Wars bullshit podcast for like a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we totally. The world definitely needs another one of those.
Yeah. We have a lot to contribute.
Like they need another podcast about movies.
That's right.
Or old school
my-
Simpsons episodes.
Right. My favorite little piece of trivia. This is a really small one, but Jordan Peele was the one that actually made the sound of the deer when it gets hit by the car.
Jesus.
Yeah, I had that one down.
Yeah, he just did his own soundtrack for that, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, that noise was so weird.
It was really, it was really weird.
Yeah. I'm like, is that what a deer sounds like?
I mean, who knows? Could be.
Well, I think it's sort of very intentional with that's the first moment it sort of shows Rose as like a sociopath, because they hit this deer and Chris is like, that experience is so emotional, it's so full of adrenaline. Chris gets out. He's like, what do we do? What do we do? And Rose is just like, like the entire time. It's like she's acting like they just squashed like a caterpillar.
All right, I got a cool bit of trivia.
That's what.
I dug for this one, but the song that they play at the beginning of the movie when the brother gets out of the car, and the song's actually called "Run Rabbit Run."
Sure.
It's from 1939, and it was popular during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the guy who wrote the song is
Hitler?
He was nope. When he was born,
Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah, Jojo Siwa. Yeah.
It translates to "Run Jojo Rabbit" in the original German.
Run Jojo Rabbit. So the guy went by his artist name was Noel Gay. I don't know why, but his name at birth was Reginald Armitage.
Oh, no way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's where
Yeah, you definitely dug for that one. That was
the
awesome.
name. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
the family.
So to kind of tag on to that like a bit, that "Run Rabbit Run" song was very kind of famously covered in the original run of the Muppet Show. At one point, it was on the
I
soundtrack.
thought you were going to say Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
Really?
but Jordan Peele actually studied puppetry very intensely, like in college. So like that very, very likely his at least first exposure to that song came out of like the Muppet Show.
Huh.
There's also a thing with the African song that plays. It's a song that's sung in the Swahili language, and apparently the lyrics are something along the lines of just run, run, you're in danger, don't look back, run, run, listen to the voices of your ancestors.
Were they saying like "Get Out" in English throughout? I felt like or maybe that's a different song. I felt like that was part of the refrain. It was saying "Get out."
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe. They
You
said brother.
have to rewatch to find out.
Brother, yeah.
Brother, they said a lot.
Brother? Okay.
I don't remember them saying get out. I was waiting for them to say get out. Never did.
That was me like saying it under my breath.
Yeah.
I'm like, get out.
Then Eric just does like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, which is
I want to be the one that's holding the drink from Django Unchained, where he's like,
all right, so man, Get Out, great movie, sort of great thing to end like the cycle on. Gentlemen, any sort of closing thoughts on the top of the Q cycle as a whole?
No, just it was a definitely great cycle. Thank you for doing it, because got to watch movies that were on the list and just kept putting off for I don't know stupid reasons. Never watched, so got to watch Get Out, which was awesome. And these other movies as well. Jojo Rabbit was great. I'm thinking about ending things
Wasn't for everybody.
not for everybody, but I'm still glad I watched it. Like it was definitely
great.
a good thing to watch and just get used to, and get my brain working again. But
Right.
this is
Which movie was that? Who was in
I'm
that one?
thinking of ending things.
So it's a 2020 Charlie Kaufman movie that was my pick. I described it at the top of the episode as kind of like it's a lot of bullshit, but it's very much my bullshit. So no one else really liked it, and I was the only one that disliked Jojo Rabbit. So there was kind of like an odd.
Oh, okay.
I like what we did though with this cycle, where it's like two movies that people weren't maybe aware of, but not everybody saw, or maybe none of us saw, and we took a chance on something because I think we do play it safe fairly often.
Sure.
But
But we also started on fucking Sinners, which is also like one.
Yeah, it sets the bar pretty high.
That's the one I didn't see either, which I was going to join
Oh,
you guys.
Oh man,
Yeah.
So I
That
still
was-
need
Yours was good, dude.
Yeah.
You should watch it. Yeah, you should watch it. It's
Okay.
worth it.
So we didn't solve the mystery of why we put these things off, but we got a few of these things kind of cleared off the queue, and I think there's just that's a positive in my mind. There's a lot to be said about that. So let's go on to announcing our next cycle picks. The overall theme was Eric's choice, and we are going to do, and again, this is kind of great because just in time for Spooky Month, childhood trauma.
Spooky Mom.
Childhood trauma. So, Papa, you want to tell us like a little bit of
Me
why
kick it
this
off?
was your idea, and then what's your pick going to be?
I wish this was like an original idea I had, but this is something that came up on one of our earlier records, like doing something like this. And I think it was talking about, I put forward, now I'm blanking on it. The like unofficial sequel to Wizard of Oz.
Return to Oz.
Return to Oz. Return to Oz.
Get out of Oz.
Get out. Get out. Was that the movie? Yeah, Get Out.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to look up
movies-
what Andy's Return to Oz score was.
Don't even.
I'm guessing low.
All right.
No, Matilda. But we talked about this one previously. Return to Oz was one of the movies that scared the shit out of me as a kid, but in a good way, where once I got through it and I could, watch it on my own, I'm like, I gotta show this to people. And so I would bring that movie whenever I go to like a sleepover. I was like, hey, let's go rent a movie. And then I purposely picked that movie. And then we would watch it in the dark, and my friends would be like, what is this? What the fuck? What are these Wheeler things that are screaming and chasing Dorothy? And all the characters you love for the original are all turned to stone, and the woman that can remove her head and she has like a whole like all these,
Dorothy Gale.
dude, the desert where you touch the sand in the desert and you turn into sand and you just crumble and blow away into nothing. It was just horrifying. And so, but that's
Are you in contact with any of those kids anymore in your adult life?
no, and me and Dorothy, we kind of went our own ways too.
One of them lives in Japan now.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
So, apologies for interrupting. Small update. I have not yet found Return to Oz. I found Andy's score for the original Wizard of Oz. 2.5 stars.
Boo on you.
He would have no problem killing every single member of the Armitage
It's
family.
boring.
All right, I'm going to keep looking. Eric, I apologize. Continue.
Yeah. So I just want to say, because I liked that kind of movie, I have a whole slew of those type of movies that I really get into. But I also was curious, what's the shit that scared you when you guys were kids, and what kind of like, even to this day, just kind of when you think about it, you're like, that movie. And so I wanted to explore that, and I thought that'd be a great pick.
That's a great topic.
Yeah. So what's your pick, Eric?
Neil, if you want like a few moments to think about that, we'll circle back to you at the end. Curious to see like if you have like a childhood like trauma pick at all. But
It'd be good.
Andy, let's go to you for what yours is.
Oh, you want me to give mine first? Okay.
Rocky
So-
Horror Picture Show.
That is a pretty bad.
For the listeners, by the way, 2.5 stars for the original Wizard of Oz and only 2 stars for Return. So,
Yeah.
Andy feels like just what is that? 20% worse?
That hurts. That hurts.
Once again, read absolutely nothing into these.
It was
scores.
the Gnome King that brought
2
me
is
back
not
into
2,
it.
folks.
The Gnome
all right,
King with the
so-
movie Red Slippers.
What
That
do you
was
got?
it.
right.
Like that's
That
my
did it
kind of
for me.
break.
That did it for me on a number of levels. Okay, so I have never technically watched this movie all the way through. I have seen, I've seen more than enough of it to know that at least at the time, it scared me to, just to no end. I also know that in watching it now, it's gonna not have anywhere near the same effect on me. I'm gonna think it's stupid. It's not gonna have it. Yeah, but I will say, back when I was in middle school, or probably like late elementary through middle school, I was terrified of the concept of aliens. I don't know why.
Yep.
I have no explanation or justification for why that is, but I was terrified of the idea of aliens coming down from from space and abducting me or abducting just anybody. Just the fact that in my
Anal
mind,
probing.
what's that?
Anal probing.
Yeah. Well, not so much that.
Fiddling with your body,
Uh-huh.
which kind of also turned you on.
Yes, that's right. So in 1993,
It was Andy's personal 50 Shades of Grey.
yeah.
50 Shades of Little Gray Men.
Well, we found out it was my uncle.
End the
Oh.
podcast.
You did it. Slam dunk.
Finally.
You
Nice.
did
I'm
it.
out.
Get out of here.
So-
That was a great joke.
You can leave now, Neil. I think you've suffered enough.
Yeah, you've had enough. You've had enough. 1993's Fire in the Sky.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. That's a cringe movie.
Cringe.
Again,
Cringe.
I know it's going to be awful.
Hmm.
I know nobody is going to like it. But I haven't watched, like I said, I've never watched it all the way through. I haven't even seen a moment of it since, 94, probably, something like that.
Mhm.
I feel like there's no other movie that I could think of that traumatized me in the way that one did. I mean, yeah, I can't think of anything.
That's a good call, though. Honestly, if I think back to when that movie came out,
Those
All-
trailers were fucking scary at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So
Let
That's
me
my
ask you
choice.
this: Did you was your bedroom growing up on the second floor of the
it
house?
was.
That adds to it too, because I sleep on the second floor of my house now, and it's like I don't have an issue because I'm used to weird shit, but like my kids, they like Ray, right? He's 9. That's the one thing that he's afraid of most is aliens, because when you turn all the lights off,
Uh-huh.
and he has the window right next to his bed.
Right.
And he looks out and he can see the sky above him. He's just like, aliens are gonna fucking come and abduct me. So I can't say anything, but I can say, like werewolf's gonna come and eat you if you don't go to bed. But if I mention aliens are gonna come down and like read you a bedtime story, he's like, no,
Right.
nope,
It's relatable. I get it.
yeah.
This sounds like a little bit shaky fathering, but maybe that's not here.
They just like read ET every time. They made a book.
Naveen, how about yourself? What do you got for childhood trauma?
For me, around the same time period as Andy's, I was 92, and I remember actually I believe we were in Canada visiting my cousins. Our cousins there. It was Candyman from 1992.
Oh, an actual R-rated, like legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
And I had-
okay.
So I would have trouble for a while. I'd use the bathroom, but I'd exit the bathroom before I turned off the light. So, it wouldn't be dark in there.
Mhm.
So I couldn't turn it off while I was still in the bathroom about to exit. It was like I was out and, feel around the door, be like
Do a tactical thing. You just didn't. You didn't want to mess with it.
I didn't want to look in that mirror when it was
Gotcha.
dark. So
I don't even know what Candyman is about.
It's like one of those old kind of like fairy
Kind of
tale
like
things.
urban legend sort of thing.
Urban
You
legends,
hear and you say
Bloody
Candyman
Mary kind of
5 times.
situation.
Scary Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Right.
Scary Beetlejuice. Okay,
That's it.
got
Right.
it.
That's it.
Enough said.
So yeah,
Some people describe Beetlejuice as horny Candyman.
Yeah.
Guys of this.
so Candyman is my pick, and I'm curious as to how it turns out.
Yeah.
Plus all the
Neil,
beans.
let's kind of go to you, but that's really interesting to me that Naveen, out of everybody, it's the first R-rated pick, because just sort of my memory, sort of kind of just kind of growing up and being friends with Levine and his brothers, like your house was the house we could go to where your parents did not give a fuck about what kind of movies we actually kind of put on, and it was just it was like Shangri-La. Like we just like the idea we can go to the brother's house and we can watch whatever movie we want, and nobody kind of just, it's just like just the freedom that represented kind of me at the time is still something that makes me smile and sentimental about. So it's interesting to me. It's just the Naveen saying like an actual R-rated movie intended for adults is his kind of childhood trauma thing. I mean that's awesome that kind of tracks just completely to me. Yeah.
We definitely got in trouble a few times for letting people watch movies at our house that they weren't supposed to.
You guys were freedom fighters. It was just one battle after another. It was one rental after another at your place.
It was a lot of movie watching.
You guys were always fighting the good fight for the rest of us. This is coming decades late, but we certainly appreciated it.
We didn't get you hooked on Coke.
Right.
Whoa, that kind of house, huh? Was it within?
He didn't say we didn't give you Coke. He just said we didn't get you hooked on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But Neil, sort of random kind of childhood trauma thing for you that you want to talk about.
When I was all I could think of was the Peanut Butter Solution, the 1985 Canadian movie.
The Peanut Butter Solution.
Yes, and it was like almost a made for TV movie.
Okay.
And it's about this kid who either can't grow hair or wants to grow his hair long.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I think about that movie quite often, and I know it's called that one.
And like it was so weird. And it didn't traumatize me in the way like a horror movie would traumatize a kid, where you'd be like, I can't, sleep at night type thing. But it just
no, looks like him.
It just like it was just such a weird movie. I could not get beyond it.
Would you say kind of weird, scary, or weird? Like when you look back, you're like, what the fuck was that thing? Even
looking back, it's a what the fuck movie. But when I was in it, it was more like a scary, like why is this happening to this kid? And could this happen to me? I mean, I was only like 7 years old or 8 years old when I saw it.
It left a strong psychic impression.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like it was made for children.
So we're going to get into it because the specific age that we are, there was such a reckoning with how much scary shit you could actually put into a children's movie. Like when we kind of do this cycle, I want to make sure we have like a little bit of a conversation specifically about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom being a technically PG rated movie that was so scary and so fucked up, but not R rated. Now, because there's no sex, there's no boobs, there's no kind of really sort of a crazy explicit violence, except for like a dude tearing the heart out of another dude's chest. But there was such a cultural backlash against that movie being called PG-13 that within basically like the lifetimes of our childhood, it basically the country at the same time being like, okay, we got to have an intermediate thing between these PG movies and these adults only like R-rated movies. And I think that we our age, what we represent is kind of really like an interesting like inflection point for this, because I think what's fascinating about like a lot of these childhood trauma movies is going to be kind of going back to them and being like, yeah, you know what, that was actually pretty fucked up. That was not the kind of thing a 7-year-old should watch or whatever.
It still blows my mind that Jaws was rated PG as well.
Yeah.
So it's fine,
It's a movie that ends with a dude being chewed in half.
I mean, well, there's a traumatizing kids movie when no matter when you see it. I mean, because it's a traumatizing for adults.
A kid gets
in the
eaten in the
water.
movie.
Yeah,
that could happen.
It's
right.
in the bay. The kid's swimming in the bay, and the kid on the back of the float.
Every 5 or 6 years, there's literally a news story in Cape Cod. Oh yeah, climate shit is so weird. The great whites are coming back to like Martha's Vineyard again.
Mm-hmm. Now that's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Talk
about some weird white rich people.
I also want to say for this movie that you mentioned, Neil, Peanut Butter Solution, there is credits to songs by Celine Dion
Is there really? Maybe
That
that's
is
what was traumatizing.
Fucking terrifying. Imagine being a kid being exposed to that.
Yeah. All right. For me, this is a fascinating movie that I've had in my life 3 different phases of experience with. It started with like, this thing is so crazy and so scary and so terrifying that I couldn't imagine watching it. And then as a teenager being like, this is not only the greatest movie ever, but I am so completely in love with the lead actress, these beautiful blue eyes that she has, to watching it as an adult where I'm just like, is this the horniest movie ever made? This might covertly be like the horniest movie ever made.
Can I guess it?
Let us be the judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neil, you got a guess?
Yeah, Labyrinth.
He's got it.
The top rated
He's got it.
review on Letterboxd, 3.5 stars from Cecily. Weird movie, but if Jareth came up to me and said to fear him, love him, do as he says, and he would become my slave, my parents would have to report me missing the next day because I'd be in the castle bouncing on that goblin dick. 1986, actually the second Jim Henson film we're going to be covering like the podcast. My pick is Labyrinth. Looking forward.
Oh man, that was a great movie. Scary. All right.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
I can
I can
see
see
it. I know what.
Papa,
Yeah.
yeah, Neil, extremely astute. Papa, let's end with you. What's your pick for the cycle?
All right. I had to pick this movie. Here's the original movie I was going to pick. I was thinking of childhood trauma and a movie that stood out to me. And it was especially, this is not my pick, but especially the scene where they go on like the ferry and they go down the tunnel. And then all the kids and their parents see all those flashing images of
Willy
like,
Wonka.
that movie to me when I was young watching that was, it half fantastical, half horror movie. A lot
in, I'm starving.
Well, remember the beginning when Charlie's trying to get the ticket. He's like, I want to get that gold ticket. And there's that weird guy. Yeah, with the suit and glasses. He just keeps showing up and he just looks like a piece of shit. And being a kid and thinking about that guy, I'm like, oh my God, what a creeper. Like,
he's mentioned for 2 sentences in the book. It's a really interesting thing that they had a little bit of a hard time figuring out how to build a script like around like the original kind of source.
Showing up whenever the kids get a ticket, and I was like, oh my God, Charlie's dead. That's it, Charlie's dead. So I was originally thinking of picking that movie. The one I had to go with, and I guess this is a horror movie. It was rated PG-13, but it's just the whole concept of it is just terrifying to me. It's a movie called The Gate.
The Gate.
Oh,
I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's about a family who moves into a home. They pull out they knock down a tree, they pull out the stump, and then there's just like a giant geode in the ground.
Interesting.
And so then they remove the geode and give it to the kid, and now there's just a hole in the ground that's just kind of covered up. And the kid breaks open the geode and essentially awakens the demons from hell. And it's crazy because it's one of those things where it's like it's night now and they come out and the family is away and it's just the kids at home.
Those things are creepy looking, dude.
Yeah, look at the puppets. But they also have a lot of like stop animation as well that some of it's bullshit, some of it's really creepy. Like limbs your tentacles getting cut off the creature and then turning into like maggots and squirming around on the ground.
But, okay, so an important question off the bat, and we've said on this podcast repeatedly, like the reason like we've covered more movies from the 80s and then from as opposed to like anything else is the value of just kind of practical effects, the value of just filming a thing that's actually kind of real and like actually like up there and in front of the camera. Are any of these demons, are any of these nearly as terrifying as Bowie's dick bulge from like some of the dance numbers that he does in Lab? Like, legit question.
We're gonna have to wait and see.
Isn't there an eye in the hand in this movie in The Gate?
There is. Yeah.
Yeah, tentacles.
The eye in the hand of the demon versus Bowie's
Uh-huh.
hog guy.
Always Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bowie's bulges.
Yeah.
In his tight
Bowie's
pants.
bulges. Sounds like a fast food joint. Come to Bowie's Bulges. He's just popping them out left and right, folks.
Don't order the slider. Let's end on that awful fucking note.
You don't have your money. No, you gonna get no wiener.
Neil, thank you so much for joining us for this.
Thank you.
1,000 views somehow.
I appreciate being on. It was fun.
Appreciate you coming on, in particular for this movie. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. Episode 71, Rebels Without a Pod in the can. Guys, talk to y'all in a bit. Take care.
Get
Bye,
out.
guys. Thanks,
Get out.
Neil.
Out.
Yeah.
Out. Done.
Later.